Turning 70 felt quiet. There was no grand party, no dramatic milestone, no midlife crisis. Because by now, I knew life didn't come with clean chapters. Instead, it arrived in slow mornings, soft light through the curtains, and the gentle rhythm of time uninterrupted. The house had never been this still. No more school drop-offs, no more bustling breakfast routines, no last-minute projects printed in a panic, no Leasley in the kitchen making his clumsy version of scrambled eggs. The only sound now was the occasional creak of the floorboards or the distant song of a neighbor's wind chime. And yet, Leslie's presence remained. Not as a voice or a touch, but as a hum I carried with me, like a stone in my pocket, familiar, grounding, heavy. My days settled into a peaceful, almost sacred repetition. Jasmine tea in the morning, a walk through the neighborhood where trees I once barely noticed had now become old friends, a book in the afternoon, and FaceTime calls with my grandchildren, who somehow were growing up faster than the calendar could keep track. Mikasa had started high school. She joined the robotics team and told me about her competitions with laser-focused determination. "Paw," she said once, "I want to build something no one's ever built before." I told her she already had, herself. Alfonso had taken up the cello. Always the performer, he played with dramatic flourishes and hair that fell into his eyes. He sent me videos of his recitals. I watched them alone in the evening, clapping quietly into the dark. Ash was the dreamer, sweet and fierce. She painted with bold strokes, sometimes on canvas, sometimes on walls, once even on her jeans. "These are my feelings," she said, holding up a bright, chaotic piece titled Storm and Stars. I told her I saw both in her. Jay visited every Sunday like clockwork. She brought takeout, Thai, Indian, Vietnamese, depending on the week, and always stories. She'd sit cross-legged on the floor, catching me up on her work, on Tina, on the latest political chaos. Sometimes Tina came, sometimes she didn't. I never asked. Marriage, I had learned, is a dance between rhythm and space. Lydia sent long emails from New York, thoughtful, layered reflections about her lectures, her students, parenting struggles, and how she was managing it all with equal parts grace and exhaustion. She included photos. Mikasa beside her latest science fair project, Alfonso grinning through braces, Lydia herself mid-lecture, hands frozen in motion like punctuation. Aaron, always the quiet thread, wrote me poems, handwritten, ink on thick paper. He messaged them without notes, without fanfare. I kept them in a drawer, labeled for the quiet days. They were simple, beautiful things about trees, memory, the scent of laundry in spring. I thought I had found peace in this routine. And then, the world changed. Again. It came not with a bang, but with a cough, a virus, half a world away, then everywhere. In weeks, borders closed. Flights were canceled, schools shut down, stores emptied, streets hushed. A new kind of silence took over, not like mine, earned over years, but forced, sudden, sterile. The news spoke in numbers and death tolls. The windows stayed closed, the masks went on. Touch became danger. Distance became love. At first, I didn't know what to do. I had survived wars, riots, and recessions. But this? A global pause? A collective holding of breath? FaceTime calls with the grandkids became lifelines. Jay started dropping groceries on my porch, waving through the window like I was behind glass in an exhibit. Lydia's voice, usually steady, cracked on one call. "I'm so scared my kids will remember this and nothing else." I reminded her, "They'll remember your strength, not your fear." Still, I watched the seasons shift outside, unsure when the world would turn again. The silence that once comforted me had changed. It wasn't just stillness anymore, it was waiting. But even in waiting, I knew this. We had survived worse. And while we could not gather, we could still hold each other in stories, in screens, in memory. Even when the world closes, we find ways to hold on.